It smells like a hot tub. So this was our original brew house. It's an older one, German-made brew house. We actually found this entire brewery in a storage unit in Saga. It came with the brew house. It came with 3 15 hectoliter fermenters. It came with the 6,000-liter bag-in bright tank. So it's actually a bladder in the bright tank that pushes out. We're the only ones that have that kind of products in Canada. The only other ones in Canada are in Estima, so they have a 250-liter, 250-liter, and they're a different company. So this is a BTB brow all-in-one brew house. I'm issuing a challenge to anybody who can find me one. The first person that can find me one in use somewhere being used, I will instantly reward. And because I haven't been able to find anybody in Canada or in October or anywhere that's able to find one of these. So what it is it's essentially magic. I'm sure you all have seen the brewing process, have somewhat of an understanding of the brewing process. So you essentially mash in what is normally the kettle. You pump it up from that kettle, which is now mash tun, into here, which is water tun. There's also trees here. Drawbacks of electric brew houses. You actually have to take the elements out. You have to find a way to clean them because all the sugars adhere to them when you're brewing and boiling your work. So that is this esoteric beast we call BTB. We bought Hot Tub Time Machine because this brews 5 hectoliters at a time, and it can only brew 5 hectoliters at a time. It's fickle, and like I said, it's stored on its side, so a lot of it is kind of crooked and cockeyed, so a lot of stuff gets in under the false bottom and clogs up the pipe underneath that draws all the watering down into the kettle. So it sticks, it clogs up easily, so we can only do about 5 hectoliters at a time, and then clean it out, and then start it over again the next day. So Greg, I sort of got to my wit's end, and I was like, oh, please, my kingdom, for something that would fill one of these up in 2 days, or at least, or at best a day, because this basically fills up 2/3 of this in 2 days. Now we have Hot Tub Time Machine, which will allow us to do 15 hectoliters in the long day. It's in theory, it's nice.
All that in a breath.
Try it.
It's amazing. I don't
want to bore anybody, so I figure I'm on video so people can. What's that say? How valuable the gun it cost? I do not know. This one we got for $1,600 $1,600 we got. So this was a Cadbury tank. It didn't look anything like this. Sorry, I'm going to turn off the pump. I'm just filling it right now as we speak. Yeah, so we're good. So this was a Cadbury liquor mixing tank, a chocolate liquor mixing tank, and it didn't look anything like this. It looked like kind of like this, just a steel dome tank with a nice shallow dish bottom. And we were actually looking at buying one from Ripley Stainless or Glacier Tank, so one of the places that manufactures them in the States or in Canada. But they all told us it was going to be $10,000 plus shipping plus. They weren't going to be able to get it to us till the end of the summer, and so we're like, well, that's going to help us because the summers are busy season. So we had a relationship with a guy in St. George who's basically a stainless steel tank farm, and so we went on his site and looked at him and couldn't find anything, and then he put something up there because we called him and he put something up there, and it was this thing, and it had the perfect dimensions that we were looking at in the mash tuns that we were looking at. And Greg is one of our members, and it's one of the benefits of the co-op is We have members that are of various skills, and Greg's skill is an industrial welder, and so he basically turned this just tank. This wasn't here. He made the hinge, he made the supports, he did all the. He made the door from scratch. He did this the only way in and out of this tank was this. Small port at the bottom. He put 6 ports on there, all sanitary welds, and did it into him and Ben, who's our electrician, also a very handy tradesperson, did it in 2 weeks, which was amazing. And bought it for $1,600. I think all told, time and labor was around $4,000 for a new mesh. And now it's my turn to dial it in. So I just got this thing ready and dialed in and able to make 5 hectoliters exactly how I want it. And now I am turning around and trying to do this, which in the short term is really frustrating, but in the long term is going to be liberatory, because I'll be able to fill up that and not just and fill up Dan's glass.
Your beer is worth the effort.
Thank you, sir.
Every effort you put into it is definitely worth your beer, because all 6 of them that I sampled today, I was quite happy with every single. I don't like coffee. You need a coffee beer. I'm not even sure the name of it. The coffee beer, I like.
Well, it's I'm glad you guys.
It's really nice.
It's called Principle 6 because it's Principle 6 of the cooperatives is cooperation amongst cooperatives, and we got the coffee from Planet Bean. That's another that's worker-owned cooperative as well. So
if find one thing that works with the other.
Exactly. It's like peanut butter and broken glass. They taste great together.
Yeah, you know it the right way. You never notice the chunks.
Exactly. So we also got 15. We got 3. This whole system came out of a storage unit in Mississauga, as I said. It was built in Germany, except for those tanks were built in Holland. It is originally, it was put into original use in Split, Croatia. We're guessing a small cramped brew pub, because there's no other reason as to why you would have this unit anywhere. It's a German torture device when you think about it. It really only brews 500 liters at a time, and it's not the most effective at doing that. Which is why you don't see these widely used nowadays. So yeah, it's awesome looking and it's fun to talk about, but it's kind of can be a bear sometimes. But I'll tell you what, and I'm sorry you guys came now and not as Dan was for 4 hours ago when we had our Pilsner. Because the Pilsner,
I know the last bottle of Pilsner.
I know the one thing this was built to do is brew 500 liters of German Pilsner, and it does that amazing. Because the first, every other one I had to dial in and had to struggle trying to figure out how to the crush and the sparge and the lautering and everything. This boom. For some reason, the clouds opened up, the sun shined, and the Pilsner went, and it was fantastic. It was a fantastic
all there.
So yeah, and now it's gone. So I guess I shouldn't be telling you about it because
you should be brewing more.
I should be brewing more, but we can't because that's 500. That's 1,000 liters that's got to sit there. Because we lager it for 6, or we for 2 weeks, and then we lager it for 6 weeks. So
I'm sure you've got time. You'll be around for a while.
We'll be around, but it's just the space. It's just the space. So. And then I'll show you the final crazy ass feature of this of the brewery, which is I have a flashlight here. I got a flashlight. So here we actually are featured in Paul Mueller Company. Paul Mueller flew up here. Paul Mueller makes a lot of the fermentation vessels for Anheuser-Busch. They also make a lot of big breweries. They just did Green Flash, and they did all the fermentation vessels for Boulevard, and we got these by happenstance, and as I said, we're the only ones in North America. So they called us, or I called to find out where the bags, how we can get bags, because as I'll show you, there's actually bladders in there. They call them inliners that are they're specially plastic bags that are made to seal beer in and keep it in hermetically sealed. And evidently they're using the hell out of them in Europe, because I was just in. I was at the Craft Brewers Conference, and it seems like every European brewer had seen these over and over and over again, especially Eastern Europe, where they're used in tankovias, where the Pilsner Urquell will drive their truck up and pump it into one of their bars, and they usually has these in way more ornate settings, like with light shining on them and copper plated with the name of the bar on the side of them. But they found out we had them, and they've been trying to introduce them into North America. And we highly recommend these things. Our opening night, we sold 10 kegs of beer, and that was 10 kegs that I didn't have to keg off. That was 10 kegs I didn't have to change, 10 kegs I didn't have to wash, 10 kegs that I didn't have to buy. I just bought a bag. And also it allows us to clean it. So the bag is recyclable. So we pull the bag out after we're done. We basically pump the bag, pump it in there. They told us it would save on chemicals. We push it out with compressed air, not CO2. So we're saving on CO2. We're saving on labor and cleaning. And the best part is, and they said it and we tested it, the beer lasts, especially hoppy beer, beers that oxidize really easily and quickly. The beer lasts, they said 16 weeks versus 4 weeks in a traditional bright tank, because it's hermetically sealed. There's no atmosphere, there's no CO2, there's no nothing touching it. And that was proven when we did the brown. The first brown that we did, I kegged off. I had some extra when I was transferring it, kegged it off, and put it in my kegerator at home as a test batch. And the brown sat there, and we were just getting started, so it wasn't a huge seller. But it sat there for a month and a half as it got sucked down, and the taste never changed. That same month and a half in my keg, the hop aroma just dropped completely out of it, and all you could taste was that roastiness. So it really does hermetically seal the beer and keep it fresh for that period of time. It also keeps it in stasis in terms of the level of carbonation, because we have 30 psi on these, so we're holding the CO2 into suspension, which it turns out I thought it was undercarbonated. We thought we had an issue with undercarbonation when we first opened up. It turns out that these are designed to save CO2, or save CO2, save the foam, because it pushes the CO2 into suspension even, and you're not pushing it out with CO2 or foam on beer. You're pushing it out with just pressure on through lines. So that is these. I'll let you guys stare in there if you want to take a look at it.
I'd have to say, for what you just said, for how little of my beer I have left, it's still oxidizing. It is still flavorful.
Thank you.
And then some.
Thank you, sir.
It is still going.
So thank you.
That's what you want.
That is exactly what I'm. So you look at the way to do it is you look in that side, and this is our IPA, and you can see there's a bag in there. That gets pushed out, and we just basically counter pressure fill it, and it gets pushed out there, which is really nice, because if I wanted to, and this is why I'm saying, we're talking to the guys at Allura, and we're like, they're running keg lines all the way through their entire brewery, and from the back. And which
70 yards of y'all line.
Right, and we said if you're going to be doing the foam on beer and all that and the pushing, maybe use this, and you can eliminate them, because you can just basically use pressure and not have to use pumps or any of that, which is really nice. So you can see in there so that's our incredibly unique way. And again, we would never have been able to do this if we didn't have the members that we have, Ben and Greg and Rob and everybody kicking in. But they had an expertise that allowed us to really to utilize these, because with the Croatian, it was a Croatian family that had it, that bought it, that brought it over. What they had a really nice template, but it wasn't anything that could be really workable in craft beer. Greg actually had to weld some dry hopping ports on there for us, had to weld racking arms on there, had to do some modifications throughout it, so put a new bottom port on there. So it was a lot of, they did a lot of work to make it up to speed. So anyway, I don't want to keep you guys, I know you probably got like 16 other breweries to hit tonight, what's that?
Not that many yet.
Oh, okay, all right, good. There is plenty of them now. That's awesome. And there is plenty of beer out front. The exit through the beer shop. There is a ton of really good breweries in town. I mean, we just got Descendants that opened up. We got Incente. Obviously, I'm sure you hit most of them. And if you haven't gotten to Guelph, then you got to hit Royal City and F&M.
Well, same old thing. So.
I think we're really doing well here in terms of getting some good breweries in now, and trying to bring some beer dignity back here. What Brick started, we're trying to sort of pick up on. So,
thanks to you.
No, thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Any questions or no questions? No, I covered it all.
Ale? Come on.
Ale, what?
I want the pale.